Today's Wednesday, March 9th, 2016, and this is the last PSL of this third quarter. So tomorrow you'll have your PSL quiz, and we will start fresh on Monday for our quarter four. So number one, we're going to be doing the volume and surface area, just like we have for the last 2 days, of a sphere. But this time it's telling us it has a diameter of 8 centimeters. So the first thing we need to do is recall our formula for the volume of a sphere. And that is volume equals 4 pi radius to the third power, and all of that's going to be divided by 3. So the next thing that they tell us is that we have a diameter of 8 centimeters. So if your diameter is equal to 8, then your radius is going to be equal to the diameter divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 4. So our radius is 4, which is what we're going to use for our problem. So now we can come back over to our problem, and we're going to substitute 3 in for our radius. I lied. We're going to substitute 4 in for our radius. So now when we start simplifying, we know that 4 to the third power means 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So I'm going to change this right here. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So now I'm going to take on top my two numbers, 4 and 64. I'm going to multiply those times each other. And that is equal to 256, and we still have pi left up top there. So if you recall from the last few examples, we've been really drilling this. We're going to divide the two numbers, 256 divided by 3 first, which gives me 85.3 repeating, and we're still multiplying times pi. So now I'm going to go to my calculator and multiply times the pi button, and I want to round it to the nearest tenth. So I get 268.08. For rounding, I want to take a look at this number in my hundredth spot. 8 is larger than 5, so this one is going to go up. So my final answer for volume is a volume of 268.1, and they told us that it's in centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters to the third power because we're doing volume. So that was for the volume. And now to find our surface area, we need to recall our formula for finding surface area, which is 4 pi radius squared. So we're using the same radius as before, so I'm going to substitute r with 4 because our diameter was 8, so our radius is 4. And to do 4 to the second power, we're just going to do 4 times 4, which is equal to 16. Then to continue simplification, I'm going to do 4 times 16, which is equal to 64. And I still have that being multiplied by pi. So at this point, we're going to go to our calculator and we're going to multiply by our pi button, which is going to give us a big ugly decimal of 201.06, and it continues on for a long time. But we're going to look at the hundredths. 6 is 5 or bigger, so we're going to round this one up. So it equals 201.1 for our surface area, and we're measuring in centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. So that is the surface area of the sphere. So now we're going to go on to number 2. Number 2, we're going to give the coordinates of a translation 2 units left and 1 unit down. But first I want to review just a couple of things. So to go right or left on a translation, you're going to use the x-coordinate. And to go right, you're going to add to your x-coordinate. To go left, you're going to subtract from your x-coordinate. So if they want us to do 2 units to the left, we are going to do minus 2 on our x-coordinate. So let me simplify this. So, and I just did that wrong. For each of these coordinates on the x portion, to move it to 2 units to the left, you're going to subtract 2 off of each x coordinate. But then if you want to go up or down, you're going to want to manipulate your your y coordinate. So if we want to go up, we're going to add to our y, and if we want to go down, we're going to subtract from our y coordinate. This one is asking us to go down, so we're going to again be using subtraction, and this time we're just going to subtract 1 on our y coordinate. Before I go and calculate the new points, I'm actually going to go ahead and quickly graph this original image. So there's our original image. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and complete the little calculations here. So I'm going to first do for Q, 0 minus 2 is going to be -2, comma, we're going to go -1 minus another 1 is going to be at -2. For D, we're going to do -2 minus 2, so that's -4. And then 2 subtract another 1 is, or actually just 2 minus 1 is just going to be 1. For V, we've got 2 minus 2, so we're at 0. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. And then the image of J is going to be located at 3 minus 2, which is 1, comma, 0 minus 1 is -1. So now we're going to plot those points on our graph. So there is our translation, and you can see that each coordinate has gone down 1 and then 2 over to the left. So we have the correct translation. Okay, let's do our last one, number 3. This one's a reflection, and we're going to be reflecting across the x-axis. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my x-axis just so I know which one I'm using and which one is like what I would like. I think of it as a mirror. If you're reflecting like you do in a mirror. So we need to plot and graph our original image. So I'm going to do that first. So here's my original image of K, D, and L. So that's K, that's D, and that's L. So now I want to reflect it across the x-axis. So my mirror is located right here. We need to first think of it as like each coordinate. So let's start with L. We can see that L is 3 above our x-axis. So the reflection of L is actually going to be 3 below the x-axis. Okay, and now we're going to look at D. So the original D is 5 up here, 5 above your x-axis. So D's reflection is going to be 5 below your x-axis, and that's a little bit off the line, as is that. And then finally K. K is over here, and we want to be parallel, whatever we're reflecting. So this one is 4 above your x-axis. So our reflection is going to be 4 on the same line below the x-axis. And then we just connect those points. And there is your reflection after you connect and label. And I'll erase these so you can see your original points. So go ahead and finish this up. Anything that's not finished from this week, make sure you do that. And you can use these tomorrow on your quiz. Make sure that it's all finished though. It'll be the most helpful that way. Don't forget to turn this in with your quiz tomorrow, but I would hold on to it. If you feel confident in turning it in today, I can probably get it back to you tomorrow. But yeah, make sure you're ready for your quiz at the start of class tomorrow. Good job, guys.